What's going on, everybody? Sage here, back with another video after some months. Yeah, it has been a minute since I've posted something, but I'm back. You know why? Because it's about to be the end of the decade, and I figure that's gotta be a good reason to come back to YouTube, right? But yeah, no, the 10s are ending, y'all. We are coming up to the end of it. I don't know why. It's not like this is the first time I have experienced the ending of a decade, obviously, but it's hitting me harder this year for some reason. I don't know if it's because I'm an adult as fuck now, or I don't know. It's just, it feels special, and I feel like we need to talk about some of the best music released this past decade. So the next few videos you guys are gonna get from me are gonna be videos of my top favorite albums of each year. Starting off in this one, we're gonna focus on 2010 and 2011. We'll do my top fives for 2010 and top five for 2011. Pairing these years up, and I'll probably pair 2012 and 2013 up in the next video as well, just because those years I didn't really have as much access to music, and there's just a lot that I didn't really get to experiment with. So yeah, after we get past the first few years in the decade, once I started, building up my music library in the first place and getting a hold of Apple Music. By the way, if you don't have Apple Music, I think you should do that. Very good choice, great platform for music streaming. Once we start getting into some of the later videos, we'll start doing top 10 lists instead of the top 5s. But breaking right into it, going into 2010. At number 5, we have Wake Up by John Legend and The Roots. Collaboration project by these guys. To put it plain and simple, you got The Roots crew, John Legend, a couple other artists like Common, all on this thing, jamming out. A couple of my favorite tracks on this thing would be I Can't Write Left-Handed and Compared to What. I Can't Write Left-Handed, that song has some of the dopest guitar solos, and that's why it's on this list, not even gonna lie. Coming in to the next slot at number 4, we got Soldier of Love by the one and only Sade. Let's just, hold up, man. Let's just throw some claps up for Sade real quick, man. That woman came up out of retirement and dropped an album in 2010 after not dropping one for I don't even know how many years. But yeah, I have always loved Sade. I can thank my mom for that one. By the way, if you were ever wondering, Mom, what happened to your Soldier of Love CD, I stole it. Sorry. Sade is just a legend. Can't deny it. Coming in at the number 3 spot would be Recovery by Eminem. Yeah. Man, I remember being in high school, freaking downloading this album off the internet on the school computers illegally and bringing my flash drive in. I used to do that all the time. Yeah, Eminem came back with some straight fire with this album. I don't think anybody can argue that. I'm not even the hugest Eminem fan out there, but that album is one that I still go back to and listen to every once in a while. The number 2 spot would be The ArchAndroid by Janelle Monáe. Y'all, I need y'all to understand something. This album right here is just, it's art. It's art. It is like listening. Every time I listen through this thing and get to the end, I feel like I have watched or at least listened to a freaking play or something. I don't even know how to explain it. Back in 2010, I didn't know much about Janelle Monáe, but once I actually got my hands on that album and listened to it, I was blown away, man. Check it out if you haven't. I guarantee you, if you appreciate genuine artsy music, I know there's got to be a better way to describe that, but that's what I'm going with for now. You'll definitely like that album. And at the number 1 spot for 2010, this was really hard. I'm gonna just let y'all know this right now. Between the ArchAndroid and this album, it was really tough for me to decide which one I was gonna put at number 1. But it is My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy by Kanye West. Guys, arguably his best project to date. And I know it's real debatable because a lot of people I know are going to stand by College Dropout to the day that they die. That's the best Kanye album, hands down. That's what you're gonna hear. But me personally, I feel like just simply because of the creative genius that was in Dark Twisted Fantasy, that makes it his best album. To me, I love this album. As I'm sitting here listening through all this stuff, trying to figure out which albums I want to put on this list, I'm going back through Dark Twisted Fantasy, and I hadn't listened to it for a really long time. It had been maybe 2 to 3 whole years since I had listened to the entire album. I'm going back through it and I'm like, God damn, I can't skip a single track. And you know you're listening to some good shit when you can't skip a single track. That album is just gorgeous. Gorgeous from top to bottom. It's crazy how when you go back to an album you haven't listened to in a long time and you realize how much you really enjoyed it. That's a really good feeling, man. If there are any albums that y'all have not heard for some years that you know you love, I highly suggest that y'all go find them right now and run them back. All right, going into 2011, at the number 5 spot, we have Ambition by Wale. This album was really dope. And even now, I'm not the biggest fan of Wale. The way he raps is very different. But with this album, it just hit different. And I'm pretty sure a lot of that had to do with the instrumentation that he has on this thing, man. He's got some really good production going on this album. And some really dope features. You got Lloyd, Miguel, Rick Ross, and Neo, of all people, showing up on this thing. Really, really dope album by my dude. Rolling right on into the number 4 spot, we have Take Care by Drake. Y'all had to know that this was gonna be on here, of course. Some of y'all probably looking at me crazy. Like, nigga, why ain't that number 1? It's not my favorite Drake album. For a lot of people, it is the best album of Drake's. For me, I feel like he's put out better projects, but this is definitely like his thriller, if I may. I love that album regardless, it's great. This is what introduced me to The Weeknd, and anybody who knows me knows that I am EXO to the day that I die. And that I have to say that that's thanks to Drake. Thank you, sir. Crew Love, first time I heard that, I was like, who in the hell is this dude singing? Do y'all remember all the freaking rumors about who The Weeknd was? It's just me hearing that shit. Like, I heard different shit, like a group of 2 like white guys singing, or there were The Weeknd was a band. I heard all kind of crazy shit. And for a long time, I was listening to this man's music, not even knowing what he looked like. And I finally looked it up and I was like, oh, he's black. Coming into the number 3 spot is Evanescence's, how do you say, is that right? I don't know. Their self-titled album. There are a lot of people that I know that really like Evanescence that have never heard this album or even knew it existed. So if you guys love Evanescence and you haven't heard their self-titled album, definitely check it out. It is worth a listen. It's got some really good quality stuff, because unfortunately, after this one, it all kind of goes downhill. The next couple albums they put out, or is it just one? I don't remember if they put 1 album out or 2. Anyway, none of the stuff that they put out after this one is touching anything close to this or their older music. So definitely check that out if you haven't heard it. Rolling on up to the number 2 spot, we got J. Cole with Cold World, The Sideline Story, my boy's debut album. Oh my God, this was such a freaking exciting moment for me when I was in high school, because that's when I got put on to J. Cole. I think it was my junior year, if I'm not mistaken. Somebody showed me the warm-up. It's like, man, listen to this dude. I know you'll like him, because they knew that I did not really care for newer rap that was coming out, even back then, back in 2011. But yeah, I started listening to that mixtape, and I was blown away. Listening to this dude, I was like, people still rap like this? What the? Now, well, was his performance on that album as good as what he put out on those mixtapes? No, but it was still fire. And my boy had room to improve, which he did with flying colors in the future years, which we will definitely get into on the next few videos. All right, y'all, here it is, number 1 for the 2011 spot. This one might make a couple of y'all scratch y'all heads. It goes to my girl Kimbra with her debut album, Vows. Anybody who does not know who Kimbra is, I'm gonna just give you one good hint. Y'all remember that song by Gotye called Somebody I Used to Know? Of course you do. Who doesn't know that fucking song? The female singer in that track. That's who I'm talking about here. That's Kimbra. This girl's voice is absolutely amazing, for starters. If you liked it on Somebody I Used to Know, you're gonna love it on her own music. I mean, that just makes sense, right? It's her own shit. If you guys enjoy singers with big voices, definitely check out my girl Kimbra. Definitely check out this album in particular. That's gonna be one of those ones that I'm always play. If the day comes where I ever have children, they gonna grow up and know that they daddy loved them some Kimbra, because he used to play that shit all the damn time. Those were my top favorite albums of the years 2010 and 2011. Let me know in the comments if y'all agree with any of my placements here. Let me know if y'all disagree. Let me know what your opinion is. What are some of your favorite albums from those years? Let me know if there's anybody or anything that you hadn't heard of on my list here, because that's really my goal here. I really want to be able to put people on to artists that they've never listened to before and end up finding something that they really love. That's like one of my biggest pleasures right there, is being able to put somebody onto some new music that they absolutely adore, because whenever it happens to me, it's like one of the best things ever. I want to do some honorable mentions. I want to shout out Miguel's debut album from 2010, All I Want Is You. Definitely a great album, but when it came to that top 5 list, didn't really have enough room to squeeze them in there. He was just shy a couple points. But in 2011, I also want to give shouts to Beyonce's 4 album. Really good album. I mean, 1+1. This got to be some of her best vocal talent I've ever heard. I hope y'all enjoyed the video. Hit me with a like. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe to your boy, because I will be posting more of these videos before the month of December's over. I'm gonna have videos for my favorite albums of this entire decade out. Next video we'll do is gonna be 2012 and 2013. And then after that, I'm pretty sure that's when we're gonna start getting into some top 10. So you'll get a little bit more out of one year instead of like these years kind of condensed and combined together. Keep listening to music, y'all. Keep searching and finding new music. Music is one of the best experiences that I feel we have the privilege of being able to explore. All right, so y'all be easy, and I'll catch y'all in the next video.